Hello and welcome my friend, and then I am planning to show you idea that how we can replace this our cars, SUVs or trucks fuel tank. And in my case this my fuel tank is now this plastic, and you can look the generic idea that how you can take your car or trucks fuel tank away. And let's go to look at how it happens. Okay, and firstly we'll look at how we can take this fuel tank away. And there is really this area is plastic, and this is like Toyota Corolla's fuel tank, and this is metallic, these support frames what I have to take away in here, in that area. And there is one bolt in here, in this area, in here what I have to open, and then also in here, in that area, just in here, this bolt I have to open in here. And then we go in this inner area, we can look that there is also one bolt. And if I open firstly this one, then this support frame opens, and there is also similar bolt in that area in here what I have to open. And firstly I open these things, and we looked at how this fuel tank moves then down. Okay, and I take my 14mm socket, 1/4. Okay, and there is this first steel support frames bolt in here, and I need in here, it is 14mm socket what fits in here, and I take now my spanner also. Okay, and there is my socket and a little bit longer this bar, and also I use now impact driver that this part opens easily. And let's look at how this opens. Okay, and this bolt opens very easily, and now this fuel tank is even a little bit coming down because it is very full. And let's look at what happens next when I open next bolt. Okay, and next bolt is in here, just in that area. It is a little bit below. Now we can see this 14mm bolt. And now it is interesting that when this first one is now loosened, then I believe that this fuel tank, it can drop to ground a little bit. And this is now a little bit risky job, and just I install one table in here below. And now I have in here table in below of that this fuel tank, that when fuel tank drops, it goes to directly in this table in here. This is my table in here. Okay, and let's look at how these things happens when I take the second thing away, second bolt in here. Okay, and now I open this bolt. Okay, and now this bolt is a little bit like stuck. Okay, and now when we look at bolt in here, this is a little bit rounded and rusty, and now I have to hit in here my socket better, and maybe 13mm smaller socket in here. And this is risky that these screws and bolts heads, they can be rusty and damaged, like in my case. Okay, and now I managed to install this my socket and bar better. And let's look at what happens. Now I think that this fuel tank, it could collapse down, and I have to be really carefully because there is gasoline about 4 gallons. No. Okay. And now fuel tank, it comes down, and this is heavy. Okay, and now I have to think that how I drop this full thing in down. And there is also some hoses in this up area, and let's look also those hoses next. Okay, and now this my steel bar is in here, and there is some brake hose cable, and in this inner area these are fuel tank hoses. They goes in up area, and then when we look in this area in here, there is fuel tank assembly. And now when we look this, fuel tank is in that area, and there is also fuel pump in here. And now one hose is away in here. Okay, this is fuel pump, and this area in here up, it is fuel tank pumps, this opening position in here. But now we can see that now this fuel tank is almost free in here. And now I have this trouble that when this tank is almost half of full. But let's see that if I carefully bend these things. Okay, now I carefully move that in this way, and now fuel tank is moving, and then I think that I have to open these fuel tank hoses in here. Okay, and here we can see those fuel tank hoses where this is intake area where gasoline goes to this fuel tank, and now I have to open these clamps in here, that one and then that one. Okay, and this is easy to open in here, but let's see that how I can open these. And now this my fuel tank is coming down, and now there is situation that this my tank is coming down, and I have to think that in what way I can drop this tank to ground. Okay, and now I decided to little bit drop down my car's body, and let's look at what happens. Okay, good. Okay, and now this my fuel tank is very near of this my table, and I can work a little bit more, and soon this tank collapse against to this my table, what is in here, this one. Okay, and in here we can see when I work with this my fuel tank. Little bit here. Okay, there is this one hose, and let's look that when I move these parts. Okay, now we can look in that area, and now I move these things, this support part away in here. And I released these fuel hoses. Okay, excellent. Excellent, and now fuel tank is almost free in there, and final step is that I have to remove these hoses in here. Okay, and now I have to open this groove in here and then that hose in here, that one. And if I little bit use my steel brush, I can clean this area more. Okay, and there is my steel brush, and then I clean this rusty groove in here, or actually this bolt, and also in that one. And let's see that how I can open this screw in here. This is difficult job. Now we can see that this is the screw and this belt what is now rusty. And how I can open this one. Firstly, I think that I can open this steel, this locking thing. This is easier. I open firstly this one. Okay, and when we have good quality pliers, this locking pin opening should be easy in that way. Good. Now this goes nicely, and then I a little bit move this hose that this opens maybe better. Little bit movement. Good. Okay, now it's really bit loosened. Great. And then I have left this difficult opening job in here, and okay, and this is difficult job. Maybe I can try to open this central area, or then I can cut this clamp. It is great idea. Okay, and now I have really these tools what using I can cut like 1 millimeter thick this steel. But now I try to cut this locking belt in here, and let's look at in what way I can cut. Now I start to cut this in here. Okay, good. In this way. Excellent. Now I took first part. We can go to look a little bit closer, that we can see that what is happening. And then I have the most difficult thing, that how I can cut this steel thing away in here, because this is thick and durable. I try to install my tool in here. Now I take some extra tools. Okay, and now I try this my knife, that I try to cut this thing, and And also this one is possible to cut in here. This is good idea. I try to cut this steel. Now I can use a little bit bigger because this is rusty and maybe we can open this. In that way I have good spanner and there's a lot of force, and if I little bit move that in that way, not so easy. Let's see if I can cut this part. Little bit movement. Okay, now I move that, and I have to be carefully that I don't damage this fuel line hose. And then I use my knife. Maybe I can, and actually there's possibility that I can also cut this hose. This is one field, and now I actually use this trick. If this is so durable, I can cut also this hose, but I try to cut again this spanner using this durable cutting pliers in that way. Now I managed to do cut hole. Excellent. A little bit more. Okay, a little bit more in there. Now I go forward, and I use also in here this screwdriver. I bend this away, and in that case I can't use now any grinding machine, because otherwise I have risky that, because this is fuel line hose, that I have fire in here, and this is really excellent Toyota's part, very durable, extremely well made. Okay, and now I work in here with these big pliers. Maybe when I move this clamp 100 times, this becomes loosen. In that way. Okay. Okay, excellent. Okay, and now I work in here so long in this way that this area becomes cut. And now I have to work in this area so long, then this bigger part opens. And now I managed to open that. Yes. And now this part opens. Great. And there is this steel clamp what was rusty. Excellent. And this is nice job. And now I am very happy. And I managed to like cut and remove these things. Excellent. And next I have to move this my fuel line hose with these my big pliers and in this way. And this is just very okay. Actually, it is in here. Okay, then this hose opens in here. Great. Okay, now these parts in here, and now I move that this oil line opens. Excellent. And now these fuel tanks, these hoses are free, and I can move this my fuel tank forward. Okay, and there is really a situation that my fuel tank is in here and there is table, and now I move this my tank a little bit forward, that this my fuel tank drops in ground. And let's look at how this job. Okay, great. And now there is gasoline smelling. And my fuel tank is in my table nicely. Excellent. And then I have to open these final hoses. And now I can smell in here gasoline. And final step is that I have to disconnect this fuel line in here. Okay, and now I have to disconnect this fuel pumps. This first hose is open, then I press these sides. This is release, and then there's second. And if I press this both sides, maybe this hose opens. Let's see. There's some. If I compress these sides and then pull out. Let's look that. There is Toyota's way that if I compress in here and then I have to compress these sides. Okay, let's look at how this opens. Okay, and fuel pump hose is opening. There are my pliers, and when I compress these sides, these two things, then I believe that this my hose, this one could open. Let's look that. Is this really true? Yes, now it opens. Great. There's idea that I have to press these two outer sides in this way and then pull out. Great. Now these hoses are free. Excellent. And then there is next part. Okay, and now really this fuel pumps, what is in here, these hoses are free, and then there's one hoses left in that area, and there are some hoses in here, and let's go to look those next. Okay, and this fuel tanks, this area, there are two cables what I have to open in here. Or actually these are these fuel lines, yes. These fuel pump hoses, and when I release this in this area, then good, now these are released. And this is, oh, now the gasoline comes out. Okay, it is not nice. Okay. And now I believe that this my fuel tank is free. Excellent. Okay, and now it seems that this my fuel tank is really free. Can you believe? This is Excellent. And there is really fuel tank now. And when we look in this up area, in here, there was this side area where this fuel tank was. And in here we can see these steel fuel hoses. And now I can feel also in here this fuel tank gasoline smell. And it came out in these two hoses in here. And I have to now tap these hoses because this area normally when we add gasoline to our car's fuel tank, gasoline and diesel goes in this area to this fuel tank. And there is also second hose where air goes out. When we add in the gasoline in this area, air goes out in this fuel tank. Excellent. Okay, and here is really this Toyota Corolla's gasoline and fuel tank. And in that area we have fuel pump in here. And these hoses in here, these are these hoses where gasoline goes in. And this is air hose also. And in that area there are two hoses what goes to engine area, and inside in that area there is fuel pump, and this is like cover, and fuel pump is inside in this fuel tank, and this area pumps this fuel in this fuel injection system, and also there is back area also in fuel tank if we have extra too much power in this fuel system. And there is electric connector in here, and there is also fuel level, fuel this amount sender unit inside in here, and there is this electric connector. Very nice. Okay, and now I have to tap really these hoses because my fuel tank is almost half full. There is 20 liters gasoline inside. Okay, good.